I have to message the Democrats myself about things because I'm worried that the party is going to look at some of their hobby horses and think this hobby horse is why Trump won and everything, or X hobby horse is why Trump won and everything, and it's going to be their pet issues, and instead the real issues about why we actually lost will get overlooked and basically pushed underneath the carpet and everything by people that just don't want to have that conversation or whatever, about things. And I think that I'm legitimately concerned about that sort of thing. So yeah, sorry, I Facebook moderation assholes for so little about what I said about Blue Sky. It was ridiculous shit. They took down a post about Nazis not being on Blue Sky. Anyways, so the thing is that more people reported that their family had fallen behind, so that's a big one. This year nearly half of voters who say that they're doing worse than 4 years ago. Trump won those people overwhelmingly, so that's a big deal. On this whole thing. And another thing that I would say in a big way, in the whole thing is that it's the economy stupid, because we get this takeaway too. Voters are sour on the economy. Voters were about evenly split in 2020 on whether the economy was in good shape or not. An incredible thing, given the raging pandemic was affecting Americans' lives that year. In 2024, about two-thirds of voters said the economy was in bad shape. This shift in sentiment benefited Trump. Now, I admit frustration on this matter. Because I look out there and I see even some of my own friends engaged in this. It seems to be that each and every one of us can dig up research that says that and find a chart that says the economy is doing really well. It's going gangbusters and everything, and certain people are doing very well in this whole economy. I mean, I can show you numbers that are jobs reports showing job numbers have been created, huge numbers of jobs have been added, you know, all these factors, consumers were shopping and spending and all this other stuff. Inflation was coming down and starting to moderate and go in, under control and start to come down and everything. And but we weren't entering a period where prices would revert to where they were in 2019. In 2018, that wasn't happening, and that's what everybody wanted, basically. My my take home to the Democrats about this matter, in summary, would be you need to meet people where they are. Instead of trying to deny that, and gaslight people and try to convince them the economy is doing very well. It may be, doing well. We all can find stats that will say that the economy is doing well. Each and every one of us in the reality and fact based community can find, things that will show us that the reality is the economy is doing overall healthy. But that doesn't do anything to alleviate the pain and concern of a family or a mother, or who has to feed kids, or a father that's worried about bringing food home for his child, about how much more they have to pay when they check out at the grocery and when they fill up their gas tank. Like, none of that goes away just because the overall economy is doing well. And it really was, on a look at this, about two-thirds of the voters. I mean, right there, that's more than half. That's a significant chunk of them, right there, that are reporting on this, and more people are saying their family has fallen behind. It makes sense that partisans would say that their position has or has not improved based on whether the person they support is in the White House this year. My whole family was behind Kamala. We're all committed Democrats. We voted for her. We didn't have a problem with it. Family of origin, myself, my mother, and my sister. We were all on the same side, pretty unified about that. I mean, I don't want to tell YouTube, since it seems to be pretty in the tank for Trump about this, but it's the truth. But I look at this, and my takeaway to the Democrats would have been, part of the problem is that what I'm seeing even in some of my own Democratic circles on Facebook is that you're all doing this. We're all finding chart after chart after chart that is being used to basically say the economy is doing well. We don't just have problems in the fact that the Democrats don't talk about the economy enough. They don't talk about the economy enough, and when they do talk about the economy, they often talk about it in the wrong manner. You know, those two things are coming together, in a way that is very costly for us and our party in terms of elections. I mean, if you want to do some soul searching, that's what it all boils down to. That's why we lost. It doesn't have anything to do with going too woke. It doesn't have anything to do with being too driven by identity politics and all that other garbage that people will say it is. I mean, to be entirely honest with you, some of those things may be unpopular, but not so much that, and not so low than on the totem pole of people's priorities that would be why they voted the way that they did. They don't care about that stuff all that much. It's not that big of an offense to them. It's just a thing that they don't like in the whole thing. It's not a major gripe that they have about anything. And the major gripe here seems to be, and it's coming out in the data after data after data, that the economy was basically, even if the overall economy is quite healthy, our economy still is made up of a bunch of individuals that are not doing so hot and are suffering, things like high inflation. And, even if inflation is coming down, and even if it has come down, prices have not deflated to the point where they would return to where they were in 2019 or 2018. And that's what really needs to happen. If you want people basically to feel that the economy is doing well, we need prices like 2018 prices, before the pandemic even set in. And so, if we're going to do any soul searching, it's paramount that we get the reason that we lost right. It has nothing to do with anything else. It's true to some extent, all the social issues got canceled because of the price of eggs. And if that's going to be a critique that you're going to make, fine. I mean, I don't disagree, but you have to. The problem with the Democrats is that they refused to meet people where they were. Like I said, I had friends that were talking about the economy, but they were gaslighting people, trying to tell them, look, the economy is doing really great and hot. They would show them chart after chart after chart showing how great the economy was doing, and they would fundamentally ignore the reality that most of the people that were tuning in to talk about economic matters were really scratching by, and suffering in a big way about those matters, and we're really bent over a barrel about the price of gas and the price of groceries that they would have to pay for. Now, we drive a Camry from 2024. We got that this year. We actually are doing better than we were 4 years ago and everything, and largely overall, in my own individual situation. But that doesn't do anything to alleviate, like I said, the concerns of the average person that's pulling the levers and voting in an election. And even us in our ascendant state, we're still like looking at how much we're paying at the groceries, and we're horrified. We're just not part of the people that actually vote, that actually believe that voting for Trump would get prices back down, because it's like, how are tariffs and these tariff policies that he's proposing, and how are how does deporting a bunch of people actually get the price of food at the grocery down and everything? And to anybody that says like natives can do this work instead, they tried that last time Trump deported a bunch of people. They didn't find enough white people to do it then. They won't find it now. White people want air conditioned, places. They want to break from the sun. They don't want to work, head sundown to sunset on the farm. That is not anything they have any interest in doing for the most part. And if they do it, they're going to want to take frequent breaks, and everything else. They're going to want air conditioned facilities. They're going to want to get away from the heat. They're not going to want to do it in just one, big thing like the fucking, immigrants that come over would do it and everything. They're just not going to want to do it. And then Trump's going to deport a lot of that labor. He's just going to kick it over. And, at the end of the day, prices of groceries will actually go up, which is really ironic because everybody was big mad about the price of groceries. And that's why they voted the way they did. It's horrible, but that's the future that we're barreling towards at this point. It's horrifying. And I've said, many of the people pulling the levers they're not very intelligent. They're not very rational. They are just fundamentally emotional, and they're mad about the economy. So they thought, hey, well, it seems reasonable to me. The economy's it's upsetting. let's just give the other guy a chance, and maybe he'll fix it and everything. And meanwhile, everybody, all of us that are actually thinkers are looking at this. And I mean, I do have plenty of data myself that says the overall economy is doing well, quite well. But what I also know is that there's a lot of people that are actually, even if they are doing better, upset, really, ultimately, about what we have to pay at the grocery. We're not happy about it. A lot of people were, and a lot of these people, for them, that translated into a vote for Trump. A lot of people didn't fall into the category that I did, which was somebody that, like, I, like, personally, I'm pissed off at the price of groceries, but I don't think voting for Trump will get the price of groceries back down. That's why I voted the way that I did. I was like, I am way too smart for this bullshit. I'm not going to change course based on the fact that I see this guy is proposing a bunch of policies that I don't think will actually do anything to ameliorate the price of groceries and make them better. I don't see anything on the policy agenda that will help here, which is why I voted the way that I did, just so you know, but I am upset about it too. I don't care if the overall economy is doing well. I don't give a fucking rat's ass. What I care about is that we've been suffering because we have to pay that much at the grocery. All that other shit, all those other stats that you can show me that jobs reports are doing well. Consumer spending is not going down. All these other factors. Don't give a fuck about any of it. Doesn't mean shit to me. And the problem with the Democrats was the steadfast refusal to meet people where they were on that matter. Some people acted so fucking dense about it. They tried to sound like, look, the grocery prices aren't going up, look, because I can show you this graph here. They were gaslighting people about the economy. And some of that gaslighting abuse was happening in my own circles here. I just wasn't calling it out, because I didn't want the drama, because these people are my friends. But you guys got to stop. The Democrats need to get on point and on ball about the economy. They need to start talking about it the right way, which means messaging about the fucking high price of groceries and what your policy plans are to get them back down. And not just, to get inflation under control, but to trigger deflation so that they return to the prices that we consider reasonable.